One more. Un mais. Uno más. Okay. No, if I play it bad, Buck, it's fine. No one will copy strike me. They'll be like, "Hey, you stole my." Oh. Yep. Nah, you're good. They'll be like, Stormberg, you just keep doing your thing, man. Okay. Okay, that's enough. Are we ready to go?
No, I'm not ready to go.
Oh, I gotta. I'll be right back. I'm not ready to go. But I will load up Shatish. Will we load up Shatish? Are you satisfied? You got your first job, Tepik. You are a martial arts instructor. Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei! Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. Do you teach Rex Kwon Do? Ah, Taradra's here. Ew. I mean, hi. What's up, man? How are you? Starship is going to be in the Netflix's new anime, The Orbital Children. Netflix anime. Okay. Hi. Did you get why I deleted what I did in chat yesterday? Nah, Shotokan. You're not that cool? Alright. What? You deleted something in chat yesterday? No, it's After Hours today. I don't know. Far Cry? Wanna play Far Cry for After Hours? Oh, I got a DM. Oh, yeah. 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 That's right, I gotta say something. Hold on. There you go. Someone was very naughty. Yeah, see, it's around. It's how that whole thing coalesced is honestly pretty damn funny. It's messed up, but it's funny. What the hell's going on, man? Can I get, like, dude? Can we get like 1997 back? Can we just get that back, please? I just need that. Like, that's all. Like, that's it. Can we just? Oh man. It's just, yeah. I'll take no internet. That's fine. It means I have to go get a real job. No. Nah, it's fine. Anyway, so check this out, guys. We made actually immense progress yesterday in the oil with the oil stuff. Check this out. Look at that. Yeah. Go back to Best Buy selling microwaves. Yeah. The internet was darker back in '97. Yeah. It's dark here. See? Because I have to turn the light on to see. Check that out. Sir, that tube on the left is not straight. That one? Yeah, I know. Look at these. Look at these perfect expansion manifolds right there. Ugh. Ugh. Is that due to a lack of RGB? Yes. You would have just turned 21. Oh, so young. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out the distribution system for our refined petroleum products and how we're going to get them over to the factory, which is over there. We have to go over or under a train line. You would have just been born or not if it's, oh, man. So what's that like being born in the late 90s? That's weird. What's up with that? What's that like? Like, that's weird, man. Like, I was reading about Mac Jones, the QB for the Patriots, and he was born in '97, and I'm like, what the hell? You're as old as my truck, Tars. You're as old as my 97. Have you aged as gracefully as mine? Have you aged as gracefully as my 97? Right? Yeah, dude, brother. Yeah. Look at how gracefully it's aged. Your 97 is in better shape than you. Oh. Well, alright. That was kind of supposed to end up being a joke because my truck is painted like 3 different colors. But, I mean, I'll take it. Interesting, because I was poor, I was always behind the tech curve wise, and no, I definitely haven't. Well, now I just feel bad, man. Well, now I just feel bad. Thank you. Great. Good. Awesome. I saw a video of kids nowadays wanting to know where you download games for a Game Boy. Oh. You should? Oh, okay. Here, let me, let's go do an oil run because the tracks aren't automated yet. So, I have 3 refineries right there making plastic and 3 making rubber. That's 95 F-250 is in amazing shape for its age. Acid, those are nice trucks, man. They're nice trucks. I don't care what anybody says. I love those things. I love the box body Fords. Switching in 97 to that Aero style was stupid, and Ford should have just kept making that truck. Your 82 Sicilian woman is in amazing shape for her age. I was about to ask what the mileage was, but you know, I'm not going to do that. I know Italian. I grew up with Italian. I want to find a 97 like yours in Canada that'll be all rusted out. So, find one that's rusted and fix it. They're easy to work on, man. It's time to dock. I remember from the 90s light bright. Oh. For those about to dock. Way salute. Yeah. It's nice being in the train here and not having to, drive. Yeah, golf simulator. It's not a very good simulator. golf. Frick golf. No, frick you.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Got me. Hey, Mutehan, 5613 sub. Thank you. Oh. Did that sign say Santa? Yeah, yeah. And that says Perky. Perky. Yeah. Hey, Elro, what's up? Oh, Credoyle. Open the valves. I'm good. How's the new Satisfactory update? Dude, it's fun. Yeah, I like it. They really polished a lot of things, man. Makes it a lot better. Like, it's just little stuff here and there from this one. It's very good. I very, very much enjoy it, mate. I wonder if you could add, like, a rail stop at the end there. Either I had a dream that you could, EVA, or you can. Let me look around. Parts. No. 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 Must have dreamt it. Ah, okay, Tepic. Yeah, I got you. Alright. We were over here working on the oil infrastructure. I was trying to figure out a way to get the materials out. I get to drive NorCal to Flagstaff on Thursday, Flagstaff to Amarillo on Friday, and Amarillo to Houston on Saturday for the big move. Wish you luck. Any tips? There is a frigging pothole on the New Mexico-Texas border in the right lane, maybe a half mile from the border. That's the one that broke my goddamn truck. At least I think. Screw that place. Other than that, you're going Flagstaff to Amarillo. So you're driving right through New Mexico, huh? Hmm. Sounds like you're taking I-40. That's a lot of the route that I took for Route 154. Yeah, it certainly didn't help, indeed. Yeah, that's it. So, how am I gonna get the resources up there? And how am I gonna get them over the pipes? You know what? Elevating them will fix that. Sure it wasn't the Ford logo that broke the truck. No, it was your crappy state, TJ. Yeah. A lot of bumps in your state too. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Eileen, love watching your streams while I'm working. Background noise and frequent funny moments equals win. I try. So there are, well, it's not really round-shaped stuff per se, but yeah. So I'm trying to get the resources up above so these pipes can go out. I'm trying to think how this should work. Let's do something like this. No. Let's not. Guys, I'll be right back. 1 second. I gotta go grab something. Give me 1 second. Alright, I'm back. I forgot to take my thyroid pill. I have to do that because my thyroid gland is all screwed up. Or I could just, you know, pull out this headphone cable that's like a foot long because, you know, why would you give somebody a 2 foot long headphone cable? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's my only problem with this headset. But then again, they intended it to be wireless, so. Yeah, join the club indeed. You still can't get over the exclamation. Oh, yeah, the hot tub. Oh, yeah, just so James Brown just jump back. I won't kiss myself. It was funny. It made me laugh. Pure coal. When golf. Hey, let's all point and laugh at John because he missed the joke. That's the joke. Alright. Honestly, though, the title's probably confusing people. Title's probably not helping. Alright, so here's what we'll do. I'm gonna take the oil pipes, right? This is a oil byproduct here from the manufacturing process that you can use for other things. I'm just gonna put the pipes like right here. That's a little bit on the loud side, isn't it? When are you gonna take us golfing now that you got the VFT rig? When you get the joke. I can't right now. Golf season's over up here, man. What's up, Bree?
I need to talk to you for like 5 seconds on mute. I should.
Be right back. Love you too. Make sure you communicate to them that I'm not in trouble or anything.
He's not chat.
Just in case, because they're gonna think I'm in trouble.
He's not in chat. He's not in trouble.
That's right.
Chat.
That's right.
Chat. It's wedding things and like.
You didn't need to tell them that part. Jeez.
Well, now he knows you. Well, now they know you're definitely not in trouble.
Or am I?
Why would you be in trouble?
Am I right, dudes? Wait.
Unless you have
Discovery,
like
go and
some
throttle up.
issue between you and.
What if I married the chat already? Schmoog! 80 months, dude. That's crazy. Alright, baby. Love you.
Love you too.
Ain't it the truth, Acid?
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Hey, Duck, what's going on, man? You damn duck. I'm married to my job. Don't say that. One, two. Artemis teleconference in 2 hours. Well, shucks, partner. Yeah, see, how am I gonna deal with that pipe coming out here when we go to... This ain't gonna look right. Get rid of this. Howdy, partner. Where's the 9-iron? Well, they didn't put golf in Golf Simulator. It's really annoying. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. It's very strange. Pagoo. Indeed. It's the big iron on his hip. I just learned I could have seen the Space Shuttle MPTA up close, but you missed it. Yep, there's the mass simulator for the shuttle. What are you doing in Bama? NASA gonna get the mission names wrong again? I don't know, maybe. Behind it is the MPTA in a field. I don't know why the hell that thing is in a field. Why would you put that in a field? Like, what are they do? What are you doing? Stop this. You stop this now. Oh, just leave it in a field. It's fine. Bro. Bruh. Bruh. Alright. So, I need to get... That pipe needs to squib down here. Alright. Here. Let's do that, right? And then... Alright, give me... There we go. Here we go. Here we go. How's Project Black Gold going? Quite good. Quite. Yes, it's going quite good, lad. It now makes purple gold. Da 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 now DMCA. Bow now now now. Bow now now now. Copyright struck. Bow doo doo doo. Bow doo doo doo. You want to see me manufacture purple rain? Nice. All right. That's fair. I prefer purple haze. Jackery. How are you? You know what? Elevating it right there might not be the right idea. Here's how we'll do this. Ready? Oh, yes. Yeah, see, Norlock, you get it. Alright, so I'm trying to just get oil production. There we go. How badly does that clip? Yeah, okay, that's not too bad. Huh. Well, these pipes actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they would need to be elevated. You wouldn't want to make them go down. But then again, if I had more refineries, then yeah. Well, no, they would have to go up to the next set of factories, right? Perhaps an elevator would be better. Yeah? Drummer. Yeah. Alright, so let's take this, put one of these right here, and then that pipe's right there. So let me just put it like one after that, right? And then put one right there, go to there like that, go to there like that, get rid of this, get rid of this. Now give me a lift. Oh, drummer, you make me happy. Oh, yes. See, now I gotta cover all this up. I want refined materials to be inside. Like, we're not gonna move manufactured stuff outside. Needs to... Bless you. Thank you. Thank you, chat. That's so nice of you. Nice is my middle name, Miss Walsh. Para 2 semanas sin agua y sin comida. Okay, Rosie. Okay, you're gonna be very happy here. Una casa de locos. Por Dios. How are you gonna make the rubber output with the elevator out front? Did I literally pick the one spot where it's blocking? Yeah, I did. That's great. That's great. Now, TJ, I was saying that I speak perfect Spanish, and I would be glad to communicate with Rosalita. De tutora, de sexual, de Señor Walsh. Aquí con las cucarachas para 2 semanas, sin agua y sin comida. If you do a bad job, we'll lock you down here with the cockroaches. I don't... Did anybody get that? Alright, never mind. Would the plastic be super hot? I don't know. You know what? I don't know much about manufacturing plastic, to be honest. Who's the fellow that watches That's the Neon Guy? Far Cry 6 quote or something? Far Cry 6? Bro. Anybody? Okay, Rosalita. Okay, you're gonna be very happy here. No? Anybody? Don't leave me. Why did you leave me? Now, does anybody get that one? You're heading to Warsaw for Christmas. The tentative plan is to take a train to Germany to see Buran, then a train to Berlin or Paris to fly home. Why? Well, Buran. Alright. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool. Guys, it's from the Goonies. Going to see your grandma? Oh, dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. Dobry. Cool. There is Abe around in Germany, yeah. You've never heard of the Goonies, Benno? Really? You never heard of the Goonies? Really? Really? Do you get scared of stuff like horror movies? Horror movies, no. Horror games, yes. Horror movies, no. I usually laugh at how stupid people are. Horror games? Oh, yeah, no, they scare the hell out of me, dude. No truffle shuffle. Come on! Oh, it's ancient. Bro, 1985 was not that long ago, okay? When I used to not like horror movies this bang, and I still really don't, to be honest with you. They don't really do anything for me. It's just funny how stupid people are. That really makes me happy. I don't know why. That's very strange now that I said that out loud. Sorry. If you're trying to get into horror movies, or you know, you're like going with your friends, just remember, like, yo, this movie doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect you. It's fake. It's fake. We made it up. Total fabrication. It's fake. It doesn't exist. We made it up. Why don't we just get in the running car? Not this time. We made it up. Yeah, but I can't control what I dream about. If you can't control it, why let it bother you? Why don't we just get in the running car? What are you, crazy? That commercial does suck, doesn't it? It's still funny, though. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaw. Hey, nobody ever said Geico's commercials weren't good, man. It's pretty funny, actually. Let's hide behind the chainsaws. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Merger, maybe. It'd be neat if they had covered conveyor belts. Well, I have the covered conveyor thing covered. Yeah. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with all the heavy oil residue. Like where, like not what I'm going to do with it. I know what I'm going to do with it. We make more things with it, but okay, yeah, good idea. So funny, Killer's just like, this isn't even fun. Dump it into the ocean? I mean, yeah, Merkers, that's a funny one. It actually calmed me down. I'm not good with seeing psychological horror style stuff, and caught it as my family was in the living room and it scared you. Yeah, it's being, yeah, okay, so like how I started watching horror movies, like, once again, they don't really do anything for me, like, oh man, this person's trying to get you, or this entity is trying to get you, alright. We didn't know. We know more about it than we previously knew, but there's a twist! Like, every horror movie. But yeah, just remember, yo, this isn't you. You're not this person. It's just a friggin' movie, dude. That ain't happening to you, you know? So it's all good. I've seen Jackery Hellfish linked me the HOI 4 expansion. We gotta play Hearts of Iron with the new expansions coming out. Extend the conveyors and merge them and go for the second door, not the first. That one? Yeah. I gotta take into account that I might have another set of refineries here. You see how I'm setting up the refineries? I stagger them. I did staggered refineries here. And then the output pipe from that one is going underneath. So this output pipe should go up and connect to whatever refinery I want to put here. I'm just gonna mock up the residual stuff for now, just so I have a good idea how this should go together. So this one is going to have a frame. One, two, three. Nope. Yeah, and the frame on this one, squib. That pipe's gonna go underneath, right? So this pipe goes this way. Wait, I might be able to dip this pipe. If I dip this pipe down under. Oh, we got plenty of space down here. All right, hold on. Hold up a minute, chat. Yes, Neo. Do you want to learn the secrets of the Matrix? Yeah, we could squib this pipe like this. Now we have way more room for the belts. That right there. Now, zoom my baby, zoom me. So much room for activities, yeah. Wasn't the residual to be refined on the place where it's going to be used? Yeah. Yeah. See, this refinery right here, right, should be dumping into this refinery right here. At least that's the plan. Wait a minute. Wait, no, that shouldn't... Frick. Oh. Should we... Like, why make the pipe go down? And why did I make it go down here? That shouldn't have done... I'm stupid. What am I doing? Chat, do you smell burnt toast? Smell that? It's freedom. No, it's fish. No, it's freedom. No, just maple syrup like normal. Oh, okay. Oh, hey, hey. Oh, used gear oil. Oh. Huh. I can confirm that that in fact smells not good. Oh. See, this is what I mean. I needed to make that second, the sets of refineries here so I could see what this is all supposed to look like. Now, this pipe needs to come down here. So give me that pipe support. Put that right there. And then you go down here like this. There. Just had a CAT scan in a room marked nuclear something. It was awesome. CAT scans are cool, man. Now this should... this should just hook up right there. Yeah, see? Yeah. Wow, I'm an idiot. And now, because the pipes are doing this, I have plenty of space down here. But see, now the question is, how am I going to cover this belt? I want my refined materials to be on covered belts. How are we going to do that? What we could do this and have the conveyor belts go down. How the heck do you build multiple foundations in a line like that? Go into the tool here, Dodo, and make sure it's set to zoop. And then you can zip. And then you can just take them away just as fast. It's called zoop mode. It was it's a new update feature for update 5, dude. There's a ton of quality of life stuff in this patch, man. There's a ton of quality, dude. Satisfactory is really coming into its own, commercially and artistically. It's been compared to Factorio many times, but you know, its early updates were a little too new wave for my taste. But when Update 5 came out in 21, it really came into its own, commercially and artistically. In 2021, they released this, Update 4. Really, Strike? Yeah, hell yeah. In 2021, they released this, Update 4. Their most accomplished update yet. Would you say the gameplay is satisfactory? Yes. Yes, I would. This in there. Because it's not just about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends, but it's a personal statement from the developers themselves. Hey, chat! Ah! That was a very satisfactory reference. Thank you. Jokes that haven't been said for 500. Man, shut up, pretzel. Yeah, I called you a pretzel, now what? Alright. So, the glass there. Glass there. Am I at least a soft pretzel? No. You're not. I got a newsflash for you, Walter Cronkite. You're not. You're the stale pretzel. You're the stale pretzel. That you go for pretzels at like 2 in the morning and you're the last pretzel that they have and it's all gross. Okay, so now what we gotta do is zip. No, I haven't strike. Alright, so you can do stuff like that, Smoke, if you want. I only did this so I could set up a conveyor belt. This foundation is temporary. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do stuff like that. Not really a fan. What I'm doing is I'm trying to set up the conveyors. So we'll have one rubber that comes out here. Not safe for Satisfactory. Oh my god. No. Can't do that. Nope. 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 Strike. Nope. Hard pass on that image. I can see the link. It's just... Jesus. Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. I don't want that. I didn't do that right. This is how you gotta make the vertical elevator. You gotta run the belt first and then... score. Do you really want me to share it again? You can share it again, that's fine. I wouldn't click on it if you... I wouldn't click on it if you're not into, masochism, I guess? Yeah, don't click on it. But now that you said don't click on it, people are going to want to click on it. I built worse? Oh, okay. See, now I'm gonna have another rubber elevator coming in here. Gotta figure out a place to put the merger. You know, it might be better spacing these a little bit away from each other. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably want this over here so the mergers can work correct. Wow.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I need to merge these damn conveyor belts somehow. Hey, Jonathan, give the sub to strike. Oh, there you go. Welcome to Mission Control. You go with throttle up. Plates. Oh, I need iron plates. Well, I'm gonna tune in later, see you. Chris, did you just come in, say, hey everybody, I'm here, and then literally 60 seconds later you said, alright, I'm leaving, bye. I just want to make sure that I saw that right. Like, don't care. Just want to make sure I understand what's going on here. Left. It's closer to 90 seconds, but yeah, okay. Hey, Okie. My boss is coming for a checkup. I gotta go. Or my check might lower. Your check might lower. Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. I'm not, man. Alright, buddy. I'll see you later. See ya. Alright, let's go up here. Let's finish our refineries up. Hokey, what's up, man? Unfortunate. Yeah, this merger should probably be like over here. As far to this side as it possibly can go. That's not what I clicked on, but alright. Is this a game of endless factory construction to build bigger factories? When you say it like that, it doesn't sound nearly as fun. But yes. Yeah, you can build prettier factories, that's right. There we go. This is gonna look real good, mates. It's gonna look real good. Now, how are we gonna do this with the rubber line here? The thing about the rubbers is that I have 3, and I only have 2 here because the other one comes out over there. So perhaps I should do the same thing at the end here and make the rubber go out. I think someone suggested that already. It's actually not a bad idea. Anyone else been to watch Finch yet? No. No, I haven't. It looks kind of cool. It looks like you're tinkering and stuff, which is pretty neat. Of course, I made it wrong. Okay, now give me the reinforced windows. Because, you know, coverage there. Okay. So let's do this. Ready? Okay. Zoop. There we go. Most excellent. Yeah, see, this is practically inside in here now. Look at that. This stuff is beautiful. Hey, 12. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Feeling good? Dude, if you nail that, oh, it's gonna be so clutch, man. Purple, is this a color-coded system now? It's not color-coded. The color on the pipe indicates what fluid it's moving. But I will end up coloring the pipes, Galactic. This is gonna get way too complicated to not do that. Like, it's gonna get way too complicated to not color-code the pipes. I'm gonna need water, oil, residual, biofuel, like, yeah. It looks actually, well, from up here, it looks pretty damn organized, but yeah, it's getting a little... You know the color gun is gone, right? Yeah, of course. So? Yeah, I kind of went ham on this yesterday. Yeah, so? We got, dude, screw the color gun. You got Customizer, man. Customizer is way better. Like, way better. Feeling pretty good. Had fun watching Dragon come back. Really excited, man. You should get it. Well, knock on wood, dude. From what the recruiter was saying. Okay. Why does everything have to be indoors? It's just preference, Jacobs. It's not everything. Not everything has to be indoors. So, it's just more of a building aesthetic code that I go by. Refined materials, so manufactured goods, inside. You wouldn't have a computer factory outside, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Did I just say computer factory? I did, didn't I? You wouldn't have a computer factory outside. That doesn't make, like, you wouldn't be making computers in a parking lot. I mean, or cars, unless you're Elon Musk, but. Hey, kid, I'm a computer. So, yeah, it's just aesthetics, dude. I just do it because I think it looks nice. Hey, kid, I'm a computer. Stop all the downloading. Help your computer. I don't know nothing about the computers. My mom got one. She put a couple games on it. G.I. Joe. Yeah, it's just something cool that I like doing. It adds to it makes it more challenging. This would be easy if I just built everything outside, man. Seriously, it would be easy. But the logic challenges, right, of doing this, Jacobs, makes for good content, man. Just like changing the rules for Kerbal in mission mode. Same exact idea. It gives you a building aesthetic that distances you from other people, makes your content different than everybody else's. That, and it's fun, and it's problem solving. I like stuff like that. This is what real industrial engineering is like. Are you going for a mega factory or modular? Modular mega. Actually, I'm building a vertical main bus, Strike. Vertical main bus. That building is going to be up there when I'm done. Like, it's going to be over there somewhere. Like, as tall as the space elevator. There's a vertical main bus. This factory has a center spire in it, and the center spire has room for like 30 or 40 resource elevators. So, like, the idea is, like, raw materials are like semi-refined materials will go into this building, and like exotic components will come out. We need more trains, indeed. It is Factorio. That's exactly what it is, Smoke. But in Factorio, you can only build in one dimension, or 2 dimensions, right? We have 3 dimensions here. I'm taking a main bus and turning it upright. That's what I'm trying to do here. It's not easy. So, I also have another aesthetic rule. Anything that has emissions, that has a smokestack, stays outside. Anything that doesn't have a smokestack, like, should be inside. Check DMs. Bruh. What's up, 95? No crap, Vulcan. Yeah, I'm gonna need those when you get a chance. Like, so Vulcan, the second that drops, you're gonna need to give them to me. You're gonna need to. Yeah, I'm not asking. Yeah. You understand? Yeah, I want that. Like, yeah. Okay. Well, you don't know what it is, Chris. You don't know what it is. You don't know me. I need it. It's like 3 hours of footage. And? What would you say you do here? How are you going to split off the bus without vertical splitters? Here, basically split the resources horizontally in there. I'll show you how I have it set up. So the first floor, ignore the first floor. This is for incoming resources, right? So I have ingots coming in from the smelter array, right? And then in the center here, there's the bus. It's not finished. It's nowhere near close to being done. But that's the idea. So I can tee stuff off and then split if I need to. Or I can have double outputs. I'll split the stack and have it go to 2 areas depending. So like, if one floor produces like iron bars, right? And I need iron bars to go to 3 places. I'll split it 3 times from that floor and then have 3 individual lifts. At least that's the plan. But what I need to do is get my refined petroleum product line, which is what I'm working on right now. I need to get that over there. And then we got to work on steel. And once we're done with those, then we can keep working with the main bus. But yeah, Jacobs, the whole aesthetic thing comes together, and it really looks good if you abide by your building code rules. Like, okay, so like the train, for instance. Train tracks don't need to be on supports. They can float. Doesn't matter. There's no structure in this game. I could build a factory hanging off the cliff over there, and it's really not a big deal. You wouldn't need to provide support. But I do anyway. You know why? Because it looks awesome. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? That looks like train tracks. Oh, Jacobs, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm the best at it, but yeah. So yeah, that's it, dude. You know, you got to distinguish your content away from each other. And I'll be honest with you. I would be doing this anyway. Streaming, non-streaming, I would be. It's just how I do things, man. Yeah, it's more complicated. Yeah, it takes more time. I don't care. I'll put the time in. Because we'll make something amazing. You know, I don't mind putting the time in. I ain't got nothing but time, baby. Oh, that's good, Hilness. It's like the sausages in the fridge. Wait, what? I'm sure you understand train signals a lot better than I do. I read about it and watched the dev videos, but I still don't get it. I actually haven't implemented any train signals yet, but supposedly it's just like Factorio, so it shouldn't be too hard. Okay, so there's going to be a rubber conveyor line right here. Actually, no, there is not a rubber conveyor line on that one. There's a rubber conveyor line that's going to pop down here, and then there's a rubber conveyor that's going to pop down here, and then they're going to turn, and they're going to merge like the merger that's right there, and then we'll have our rubber input come here, and then it'll merge again right here, and then we'll have a full plastic and a full rubber line turn through here, and then there's our refined petroleum products. Anything else, we'll just put in a pipeline. Illness, you think so? I don't know. I don't consider myself very good at it, but maybe that's just me. I constantly put myself down, guys. I'll be honest. I am my worst critic by a long shot. Nothing that chat has ever said will, like, really piss. Well, that's not entirely true. There have been people in here that have made me pissed off before, but I am my worst. I'm my worst critic by far. Yeah, I will do that to myself because that's what you need to do to get better. I basically have a drill sergeant in my head that's saying stop being lazy all the time. Really on this? Oh, that's good. You have a minute for a rocket question? Tuning, you can ask me a rocket question anytime, anywhere. Shoot, man. Yeah, Storm, I will. You guys have seen it. I'll sit here and I'll look at something that I built and I'll be like, nah, that's crap. I can make that better. Yep, nope, terrible. Storm, I know you're like that. I can tell, Storm, just by talking to you. I know you're the same way. I know. Like, dude, I'll be honest. You know, like I feel about that with the wiring in the 59. Like, just on a side note, I'm like, man, I did that so bad. I could do that 1,000 times better now that I know what I'm doing. But then I sit there and I'm like, I don't know, maybe. This is a very interesting solution to a very big problem. Thomas Pesquet's plane en route to Cologne. Cool. It's been a long flight, dude. He's almost home. What is this? Clever solutions hidden beneath the surface in the all-new Atlanta Motor Speedway. 28-degree corners. That's a pretty steep bank for a freaking mile and a half, man. You never get anything done because I must have it perfect. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, perfectionism is kind of... It's a double-edged sword. You never, like... You have to find a happy medium between getting it, like, right and also not wasting time. I'd like... The way I would judge myself is that I'm a little bit on the wasting time side. And I don't like that. I really don't. I hate it. I get stuff done, but I get it done slowly. And that's... But then again, you know, the duality of that is that, you know, if I take my time and do it right, of course it's going to get done slow. Right? Like, it's a hard thing to kind of balance, isn't it? Yeah, Hilna's recognizing when something is good enough, but like that's the thing, man. I won't compromise. If like, and this is probably why I just stream it. That's kind of it, because I won't compromise on a design. I refuse to do anything half-assed. I refuse. I'm not gonna do it. I'd rather not do it, because the second you half-ass something is the second you get into a habit of half-assing things, and then your work quality goes to shit. And yes, I'm swearing. I'm sorry. I understand. I understand, you know, classy, and please don't swear, but it warrants exclamation. It's important to understand that. Okay, I said it would come back after it all finished downloading, but the launch ISOs finished downloading and they're in 60 FPS, and I had to tell you. Alright, Tuning, what was your question? I'd rather do it right. It just, in my head, I'd rather do it right. Okay. Tuning, what's the question, my brother? With the more modern, efficient rockets of today, not necessarily, if you just needed to launch a small load into space, say for an emergency, would it be cost effective to build a very small rocket? Or is the cost of launching and fuel kind of an aside to the size of the craft? Okay, so what you just described, Tuning, so, okay, your mind's in the right spot. You're absolutely in the right spot. There is a market. There's a market for rapid response on-demand rocket launches. So, you know how like a rocket launch is like a multi-year campaign right now. Like you say you're going to do this, and you build the satellite, and then you order the rocket gets built, satellite gets built, they finish at the same time, you put it together and you launch. And that culminates in, you know, a 2-year, 3-year long mission. Like James Webb has taken like 18 years to make, right? You're talking like the polar opposite of that with small sat launching. That's becoming a thing. That's kind of where the meta is going with rockets. It's not necessarily, you know what the screwed up part is? It's not necessarily that older rockets were less efficient. Newer rockets definitely are able to achieve better efficiencies, but it's not as much as you'd think. Because Tuning, at the end of the day, so here, it's car terms. I'll put it in car terms because I know you know this. At the end of the day, there's only so many ways to make a goddamn pickup truck, all right? There's only so many ways to do it. There's only so many, you're only going to get a certain amount of efficiency. Like, there's no pickup truck that gets 70 miles to the gallon. That's not going to happen. No. What you can do is make a pickup truck that's better in the interim, right? So, like, a hybrid pickup truck or something, right? Or, like, you know, you could go full electric if you want to be like Ford, right? So, you're seeing a shift, right? With what people are doing by trying to make smaller, less complicated rockets. Not necessarily at the behest of efficiency. Rocket science doesn't work like that because rockets don't have rolling resistance. They have aerodynamic drag. And that aerodynamic drag is only for a second. So, yes, people are trying to make smaller rockets. There's one launching on Thursday. Astra LV0007. There's one launching on Thursday that's trying to do exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Astra's rocket is not made out of anything special. It's just aluminum. It's just aluminum nuts and bolts, and that's it. The engines are the most complicated part. I mean, that's the case with any rocket, but even the engines, like, You want to know how they light the engines on Astra's rocket? They stick a match up the nozzle, like propane grill style, where you turn the freaking gas on and you throw a match into it with lighter fluid. Like, that's how they light the rocket engines. It's supposed to be as simple as freaking possible. Simple, rapid response, on-demand testing. Yeah, there is a meta for that. Abso-friggin-lutely. Yeah, they're getting ready to go. See, you see this picture? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It takes 6 dudes to set up this launch pad. Launch pad. The entire thing. Tuning Astra's rocket and their launcher and the launch pad stuff and all the ground service equipment, everything, all the hoses and everything can be packed up into shipping crates. Even the fuel tanks. See the fuel tanks right there? It's an intermodal fuel tank. You could pack the entire thing up into like 4 or 5 trucks and drive it anywhere you want. That's what we're trying to do here. There's a reason why there's 6 dudes in this picture. Right? Because all you need is 6 guys driving 6 trucks and you could set this launch pad up. So yeah, they're trying to do stuff like that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So like people are trying to do that. Yeah, that's trying to get done. How do you only have 3 things on your taskbar? I keep it simple, man. Yeah, Hellfish, basically. Or like a Scud missile or something. Yeah. Basically. That's right, Vulcan. Yep. Did that answer your question sufficiently, man? So, well, actually, to answer your question, would it be cost effective? It remains to be seen. People definitely think that that's the right idea. Astra's the only one that takes my parking lot theory, Thomas, and puts it to shame. Astra's the only one. NASA sure made a right proper screw up of that, didn't they? Yeah, launcher. There's ABL. There's what Rocket Lab is doing. Rocket Lab. Oh, yeah, fellas. 11 first insight. Launch in about an hour after Crew 3 tomorrow. Just thought I'd let you know. In case there wasn't enough on the buffet table, man. Shoot. Crew 3's still on for tomorrow. Hell yeah, man. Dude, we got... this week's gonna be so... This week's... I mean, not going to be. This week's already amazing. Loved watching Crew 2 come back yesterday. It made me so happy. Freaking love rockets. I don't know what it is. It's so strange. Yeah, we went from nothing to everything real quick, didn't we? A Scud missile requires 8? That's ridiculous, Gamer. Can you believe that, man? Can you believe that? I mean, Astra's technology is pretty freaking good, man. That's pretty cool. Like, you just yeet a rocket out of nowhere. It's like, alright. The pre-launch processing footage. I have them floating around somewhere, Vulcan. One of my buddies that worked on it, one of my buddies that worked on that thing showed me some of the footage or some pictures that nobody's ever seen of all the mass simulators before they put them together. Really freaking cool. Fellas, give me 1 second. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back. Yeah, that footage is pretty good, Vulcan, I'll say.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Alright, I'm back. RB, thanks to Hokey for the gift sub. There you go. Alex, what's going on? You submit that thing or what? It's green, Jacobs, yeah. Alright, anyway. So these things would have pipes coming out of them, huh? The residual. What else can you do with the residual? You can make petroleum coke. You can make residual fuel. What can you do with residual fuel? Spin launched.
Discovery, go at
Hey,
throttle up.
Ryan. Long time no see, man. Where have you been? Hope everything is good. Anyway, tuning, did you shoot me a reply or? The rocket space is getting crowded. Exciting times. Yeah, it's pretty nuts, man. That's awesome. That's what I was wondering, if anybody has taken smaller, more accessible technology to its logical dispersed conclusion. Yeah, pretty much, man. Submitted tonight. Just need to prep the cover letter, and I made a few tricks following your advice. It's pretty dang clean now. Good. Good. Excellent. Coke it and then sink it until you get the recipe for cloth. Whoa, wait a minute. Bell? Isabel, what? Okay. That's beyond me. What? I know about the sink. What's the recipe for cloth? Can you elaborate a little bit? I'm interested. You piqued my attention. Is there something from the awesome shop that I didn't see? I mean, I can sink the petroleum. That's no problem. Have you unlocked the blenders yet? Nah, fellas. Here, let me show you. Guys, this is the furthest I've pretty much been. I'm way behind. I'm like way behind the curve. I don't have any of the super advanced stuff. Polymer resin to cloth. It's a hard drive. Oh, I have to go find that recipe, huh? Okay. Crash ships and stuff, right, Bell? RB, I'll do whatever makes sense, to be honest with you at this point. Because I can already see that this is starting to get extremely complicated. Right now, I think I'm fencing, I call it fencing because I think it's funny. We're fencing these resources. No, English, do good. I'm fencing quartz right now. Wait a minute. Some of the alt recipes are far simpler. Yeah, that's what I've been figuring out. Those damn crystal meth oscillators. I don't know where all my rifle ammunition went. Let's see if we can make more. I have gunpowder somewhere in the factory. Yeah, I got you, Isabel. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, most of this stuff I understand because, like, in a previous save, this is about how far I've got. I did get to tier 7 and tier 8 in an older save, but in that older save, the tech tree was completely different. It was totally different to what it is now. Give it to that. So, yeah, this is basically uncharted territory for me. Is that caseless ammunition? Not sure. Alright, so let me get this. Actually, yeah, fencing the petroleum coke is... Yeah, that would be actually really good. You could also use it for fuel. Kind of want to do that. I mean, that's... Because I don't need the petroleum coke right now, and I'm too stupid to understand what I need next for this. So, I'm gonna just cap this off, right? And once again, I have a bunch of flat space behind me where I could, you know, we could keep expanding the refineries as I see fit. Do you have fuel power plants? No, this is all off coal, Plums. I stuck with coal because the way I see it, and once again, you know what? I'll just go outright and say that this is probably incorrect, and that's fine. If I'm going to mine crazy amounts of coal for steel, right, which you do need, why not just keep using coal and 2 for 1? In fact, the only reason we don't do that in real life is because of the environment, which I don't give a frick about in this. You know? Like... I don't see why we'd go off of that. Because I need it for steel. Might as well just keep mining the stuff. Not using green coal. But the cave spiders... Wait, what? Cave spiders? Frick about the freaking cave spiders. Ain't nobody care about that. No, the resource nodes are unlimited tuning, from what I understand. What typically breeds a new save? If the reason I reset my save in this before is because my factory was so screwed up, I just didn't even bother. It didn't make sense to redo it.
Go and throttle up.
Hey, Toonie, give this up to Jacobs. I generally try to not get rid of my saves, dude, no matter what. The reason why, Jacobs, is because, okay, if I do it and I reset the save, everybody that's watching is like kind of invested in that project, right? And if they come in and they see a brand new factory, they're gonna be like, hey, what happened to your old factory? And yeah, people are gonna be like, I abandoned the old factory. You know, I know it sounds really dumb, but trust me, man, that's absolutely a thing. There we go. Yeah, my other factory I stopped, and I started with this, and then we played for a little while, and then another game came out, and I was just like, oh, you know, let's play another game, and I stopped working on this, and then Update 4 came out, and I worked on it a little bit, and then Update 5 came out, and Update 5 really, really made the quality of life in the game way better. It made building stuff, you could build stuff a lot faster, and yeah, I fell back in love with the game. That's how this happens, man. What made me reset in this one, Jacobs, particularly, is that they changed the terrain. Half of my old factory that I built was in that canyon over there. There's a huge canyon. It's out of the fog of war here. Or it's behind the fog of war here. It's right here. There's a huge canyon over there where those tall trees are. And I built over there. And they changed the terrain and they moved the resource nodes. So that factory became useless and it was half inside of a mountain. So I was like, nah, yeah, you know what? I don't need to do that anymore. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm done here. That's what happened. It took me a second to remember. I'm like, wait, why did I get rid of it? I thought, oh, that's why I got rid of it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so it was like halfway in a mountain and stuff. I was like, nah, I don't need to play this anymore. Oh, I need more steel for my conveyors. You're gonna have to burn some of that fuel that you're making. I'm just gonna fence the petroleum, dude. Fence the petroleum coke. That's what Isabella actually. That's a really good idea because I don't necessarily need it just yet. So, you know, why stockpile it? Just build. There's no point in stockpiling it. Just sink it so I can get more tickets. This is my little mini steel mill right there. Yeah, you know, I did. That's what chat was like, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this. And I'm like, alright, it's Satisfactory. What did they do? So I looked at the update and I'm like, damn, okay. Yeah, they really put their heart and soul into this update. So, well, guess I gotta play it now. And then I loaded it up and, dude, like, yeah, putting the Zoop tool in and everything, man, that really made a difference. Did you name the station Perkele? No. Yeah. Like, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't just the dang Zoop tool, but... What do you mean golf simulator? It's an inside joke. There's been a suggestion on the experimental boards for a very long time to make, to put golf in the game. And the developers are like, no, we're not putting golf in the game. So, as a protest, I am protesting. I am protesting their lack of golf by calling it Golf Simulator. Sorry. What are those arches in the distance? Is there a proto-molecule planet? I don't know. Natural spires, I guess. I don't know what they are. Yeah, they said no golf, so I'm like, no. This is Golf Simulator now, alright? But yeah, I mean, actually, now that I'm here, I'd like to show everybody again. I take influence from the petroleum industry, from the petrol industry. When I build this stuff, I try to make it look like it, like with the expansion and water hammer joints right there, the bends in the line. Real pipelines do that because of thermodynamics and, well, physics. That right there is a bend. It works kind of like what a speed bump does for a car. It slows down the fluids inside, so you don't generate a ton of hydraulic pressure at the end of the pipe. And it's also they're also there. It's an expansion joint to account for thermodynamics. I'm going to incorporate this in all of my pipes. There you go, Jacobs. Hell yeah. You know, like, Jacobs, I understand that everybody's like, oh, the oil isn't sustainable. Blah, blah, blah. I get it. Like, I understand that, but damn, dude, is like, I mean, there are buildings that look like this in real life. Like, I mean, Jacobs, you've seen it. The oil infrastructure in Texas is unreal. It's so, you know what? I'm just going to go out right and say it. It's really freaking cool to me. It's really cool how some dingbat freaking, oh, let's pump this magical goo out of the ground. And literally our entire civilization is based off of that. Based off of some dingbats like, hey, oh, look at this. This is good. This goop. Like, oh, this is awesome. We should just use this. Like, it's like... It's cool, man. Like, if it wasn't such a... Dude, like, proprietary information with the oil industry is like ITAR with rockets. Like, I once asked a guy one time, like, hey, could we do a VFT to an oil field or something? And he was like, no, that's not happening. And I'm like, what? He's like, no, there's no way. There's no way they're going to film them refining stuff. There's no way. I'm like, really? I'm like, can you ask? Nope. Got vetoed real quick. I'm like, wow, that's... I did not expect that. Okay. Yeah, oil is pretty... Yeah, you ain't wrong. Yeah, Poison, exactly. It's pretty nuts, man. Like, dude, they're super serial about that stuff. All right, let me set up a sink here. For the petroleum. Bends in the pipeline reduce hydro oscillation waves in the line. That's right. Yeah, you don't want to jack the hydraulic pressure at the end of the pipe, right? Like, that's no good. I was learning about that yesterday, Dragon. It's like I think it was called like a water hammer. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it can do that. That's pretty strange. It's more of a back pressure issue. Interesting. I'm gonna need more platos. Wait, do bends in the pipe do that? Does that? Wait, the game takes that into account? No way. The game has fluid dynamics that are that advanced? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's really impressive. Like, I'm not even mad. It's amazing. No crap, dude. So putting bends in the pipe's actually a good idea. You should do that. It's not just for aesthetic. Oh, that's actually, dude, that just made me a lot happier that I took the time to make that happen, because that's actually helping. Well, I'm not sure how much it's helping. I don't think I put the bend in the right spot. On my island, we have those bends in the geothermic station, and when tourists ask what they do, we say it's for the cows to walk under. If you have to ask, you don't understand, right? Dragon, can you elaborate a little bit? I don't mean to call you out. I'm actually super interested. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, just think of the cows. Smoke, I like that. That's funny as hell. Yeah, we're thinking of the cows. We're being environmentally conscious because you don't understand physics. Oh, how appropriate. It's basically a recursive algorithm, but it's pretty neat. Works well for incompressible fluids. Alex, I freaking love physics. Physics is, oh man, I wish I realized how freaking cool this stuff is. You know, 15-year-old EJ just want to play Counter-Strike all day, and that sucks. Because if I had realized how awesome this stuff was, I'd be freaking working for like MIT right now or something. Going to MIT or something. Wouldn't we all? Right? Dude, if I had freaking known, man. And you know what the sucky part is? That people tried to tell me that. I'm pretty dang sure that my parents are like, hey, you need to not be stupid. Can you not do that, please? And I didn't listen, because I thought I knew better. Turns out, when you're 15, you think you know everything, but the reality of that situation is that you know nothing. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very sobering moment there. Yeah, exactly, tuning. I love it. Alright, so special. Give me the sink. Oh, I need some reinforced plates for that. Cryogenics are even cooler, coggers. Ooh! You know what the cool part is? Every time you learn something, or, well, I guess I should speak for myself on this one, but I'm fairly confident this is across the board. I'm pretty sure this is a human thing, not an EJ thing, but again, I don't know. I'm weird. So, every time I learn something new, it's a rush, man. It's a really, really awesome feeling. Not gonna lie. It's a real awesome feeling. Learning something new, like what I just learned about, like when I was learning about those pipes yesterday. I put the expansion joints in there thinking they were just for, oh, that's just for thermal expansion. No, it has a lot to do with how the fluid flows through the pipe. And if I had to guess, the size of the expansion joint and the size of the U really probably depends on the fluid that you're moving. It really depends on what you're doing. See, like, that's a new thing it's a new thing that you learned. And that's cool. That kind of stuff really, really revs my engine, man. DJ's human. Let's not get too carried away, okay? Let's see. What did our rates at 2,800 points per minute? Let's see what it does now with the petroleum coke. Right, Rothrin? Dude, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. It's just like, tink, and you're like, oh, okay. Exactly, Hookie. It's just some element analysis stuff, right? Like, makes sense. Don't you have to make 2 more refineries for the remaining residue pipes? Yeah. Yeah, those are just capped off for now, though. I'm tapping off the rubber. Actually, it's 3. It's 3 more refineries because there's another residue pipe right here. I'm just going to leave it like this for now. Yeah, Rothman, and that's the reason why I do what I do, man, because people, you know, if I can explain something to somebody and seeing like, even though it's through chat, seeing somebody connect those dots together in their mind, yeah, it's a rush, man. It's a great feeling. Great freaking feeling. Like, yeah, feels real good. See, like when somebody asks a question and I help them connect the dots, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I get how this works. I'm like, yes. It's real good. Gives me a little bit of a thrill. That's for sure. Yes, zooping is very coggers. Zoop me, baby, zoop me. I have to use a ramp here, I think. Actually, you know what? We don't really need to do that. Here, hold on. Probably put a little elevator right here. Or just a little ramp down. Also, I love the concrete foundations. It makes that makes me happy. Like, even building this, it would have probably taken me 3 times as long to build this the old school way. With Zoop, I can build it a couple minutes. Probably would have taken me about 10, 15. Now I can build it in like 3. Oh yeah, we do have that teleconference very soon. So why the ramp roof? Oh, it just looks like I thought it looked cool. Yeah, no, the ramp roof Jacobs is just aesthetic. Just, it's kind of my visual indicator for a covered conveyor belt. It looks like an old school factory. I kind of borrowed it from like vintage Detroit factories. Old factories used to have this, like, they used to have roofs with a relief in it, and then there was a slat window right there, so a window that can do this, like a tractor flap almost. And all the heat that the factory would generate would just go out the roof, and you wouldn't have to like open any windows. Yeah, old factories used to have this kind of shape here. There was a slat window, and when all the heat collected at the top, it would just open up. Yeah, I just thought it looked cool. There's no blueprinting. Yeah, kind of a shame on that one, but it's all right. Yeah, that's about as close as I want to get to those railroad tracks, huh? I gotta hit the right key. Okay. Now they're all metal roofed ovens. There's probably a reason why they don't do that anymore, Tars, but yeah, I don't know what it is. A lot cleaner. I like that. I like that the concrete doesn't have a, like, it's hard, it's a little bit, like, the overlapping texture on the concrete isn't as bad as it is for these. So now it looks like a nice even seam, even though the concrete is overlapping. Concrete is easier to overlap. Oh, that looks so much nicer. Yeah, see? That looks way better. Like, gotta differentiate, because this is the road. Right, except for that one. But, heck, we might even be able to check this out. Do a little bit of... Nah, we'll just leave it. Just a little teeny-weeny overlap, no problem. Alright, so this covered conveyor belt with my petroleum products, I'm basically going to run it this way. We're going to run it underneath the train station here. Or I could run it right here. Here, let me check something. Give me the concrete foundations, and we will zoop in this direction and see if we have the space to do it. Little bit of a clip by the rocks right there. Just a tiny bit. That's actually not bad. I'm probably going to do this way. This way is better. And then, see, like a little thing that we could do here is change the wall texture. Like, don't put a window there because the rock is there, and go. Flat roofs on factories nowadays are enabled by better HVAC, most likely. Yeah, climate control was not a thing. At least I don't think. Alright, so now the conveyor belt will run underneath here. And then... I think I'll make the train tracks probably loop around that way. That's probably better. Yeah, that would probably be better. Have them loop this way. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. Hold on. I gotta check something. I think I left this area completely open like this on purpose. The reason why I left this open is to make a bigger station. Damn. That's still enough to expand this quite a bit, but I left this long straightaway right here to be able to expand the station big if I really wanted to. Any room over here for expansion? I could always reverse the belts and make them go this way. Ooh. It was at this moment that EJ knew he screwed up. Actually, making the belts come backwards and go this way, right through here, and then take a left right here, and then come in right there. That's not, yeah, that's probably how I should have done that. Yep. Okay, I've decided. With Zoop, it won't take very long to redo this. Yeah. I didn't like this thing going next to the train tracks anyway. I thought that looked dumb. Because the other thing that I like doing, Jacobs, is I like building with the terrain. A lot of Satisfactory players just build a huge platform and they just cover up the terrain. And you know what? That's totally cool. This is kind of, you know, do it the way you want. I like building with the terrain. I think it's much more sketty. It looks a lot cooler. Ain't gotta call me out like that. Well, hey, I was just continuing the conversation, man. Why didn't I just do this in the first place? Jeez. Didn't see it. Oh, those are pure iron nodes. This one? Normal no. Eta normal no. Not pure. You only mine the pure? Yeah, you only really need to. Okay, so we need to reverse the flow here, so get rid of this. We're gonna need a merger. Right here. Nope. That merger's gotta be on the outside now because we reversed the flow. So this needs to go right here. The rubber needs to take the outside track here, out here. Like that. And then the plastic needs to be on the inside here. This is where the rubber meets the road. Indeed. Was that My Summer Car After Hours a one-off or more to come? More to come. I actually enjoyed playing. Honestly. I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, you never know. Yeah, people did enjoy it. I noticed that. If you guys enjoy it, that's also kind of a big thing. Like, if you guys are into it, then, you know, it's much more fun when chat's super into what we're doing. So which part of your factory is on? Not much. Not much is working right now because all the resources are saturated because the lines end. Just the Coke sink? Yeah, pretty much. It sounds so wrong. Just on a side note. Okay. Yeah. Only the rubber is going to be producing residual. Okay, we're gonna need a fluid buffer for the residual right now. Or get those refineries cooking. Yeah, somebody was saying in chat, I should have set up another tier of refineries here. I should have set up another one and have this at the end. Because I have 3 residual pipes. Yeah. Someone know where you can get the glass foundations. The sink. Sink in the awesome shop, B-Ward. Just about time for the teleconference. Yep. It's an Artemis teleconference, O-Force? Let me finish this up and we'll go from there. It does look like a laser rifle from Fallout, doesn't it? Artemis update is starting. Alright, I will load it up.
How excited all of us are on finally being able to get back to work on the human landing system, what we call Option A contract with SpaceX. Over the past months, there's been an intense focus on when we will land humans on the moon again as part of the Artemis program.
I'm going to talk
I
to more guys,
spoke
if you don't
last
mind.
Friday with Gwen Shotwell, the CEO of SpaceX, which is the first contact we've been able to have about the HLS program, and we both underscored the importance of returning to the moon as quickly and safely as possible. And the decision by the court on Friday means progress for the Artemis program, but our team still need time to work through the specifics before we can give a detailed look at the HLS readiness timeframe. I want to give a shout out to our legal team as well as to the Department of Justice lawyers that argued in front of the federal court, which is the court of federal claims. The human landing system is a crucial part of our work to get the first woman and the first person of color to the lunar surface, and we are getting geared up to go. NASA is committed to help restore America's standing in the world, and Artemis is certainly going to help us achieve that by assembling the broadest and most diverse international space exploration coalition in the history of this planet. NASA is committed to pushing the boundaries of what we know to be possible. Artemis missions will turn science fiction into science fact. We will make new discoveries, we will advance technologies, and we'll learn to live and work on another world. And we'll do this all the while inspiring the next generation of scientists, engineers, explorers, and other STEM professionals, the Artemis generations. We had extraordinary success in the Apollo generation. Now we are in the Artemis generation. And when we land, the first woman and the first person of color on the moon will inspire kids here and around the globe, showing that if they can dream it, they can be it.
Wow.
And put simply, the Artemis program is an investment in our nation's future, in American leadership in space, in science and discovery, in good, high-paying jobs across the country, and in technology spin-offs that will be leveraged here on Earth. And obviously, this is very ambitious. And the good news is that NASA is making solid progress at the Kennedy Space Center on Artemis 1's launch. The agency has completed the stacking of the Space Launch System rocket and the Orion spacecraft. I just saw it a week ago. We have a series of tests underway. The esprit de corps is very high. The wet dress rehearsal will be in January, and the targeting launch is in February. And that said, after having taken a good look under the hood these past 6 months, it's clear to me that the agency will need to make serious changes for the long-term success of the program. Our update for you today is this. NASA is committed to an updated Orion development cost of $9.3 billion from fiscal year 12 through the first crewed flight test, no later than May 2024. These updated cost and schedule estimates for the Orion program through Artemis II are as a result of an increase in the scope and the demonstration from the original baseline and other factors, including the delays caused by COVID. Now, these changes will result in an Artemis II mission, which is the first crewed mission, and that should be a potential launch date of May of 2024. And that mission will go out further than humans have ever been, probably 40,000 miles beyond the moon, and return to Earth. And our teams need time to speak now with SpaceX about the human landing system. We've lost nearly 7 months in litigation, and that likely has pushed the first human landing likely to no earlier than 2025. However, this crewed landing will be preceded by an uncrewed landing on the moon sometime before that human landing. There are other reasons. Prior to fiscal year 22, previous Congresses did not appropriate enough dollars for development of the human landing system. And then the Trump administration target of a 2024 human landing was not grounded in technical feasibility. Going forward, the Congress has made clear that there must be competition for the 10-plus moon landings in the future. There will be the need of a significant increase in funding for the competition, and that's going to be starting with the 2023 budget. After all, the Chinese space program is increasingly capable of landing Chinese taikonauts much earlier than originally expected. But whatever, we are going to be as aggressive as we can be in a safe and technically feasible way to beat our competitors with boots on the moon. This update does not affect later Artemis mission schedules and lunar surface plans, including the Gateway development and the lunar surface activities around the late 2020s. Artemis 2 will be an incredible achievement for NASA and indeed for humanity. For the first time since Apollo 8, Artemis 2 will fly around the moon. It will take astronauts further into space, as I said, than any humans have traveled before. And this remains an exciting area and era for exploration, innovation, and discovery. But as a government agency and a global leader in exploration, it is our responsibility to taxpayers to be open and transparent. And I've been crystal clear with the team, and it's my duty to be as clear with the public by talking to you. NASA's operations and those of our commercial partners has to improve. There are several steps we are taking to better position the agency and the Artemis program for success. We announced the reorganization of NASA's human spaceflight programs, the Space Operations Mission Directorate and the Exploration Systems Development Mission Directorate. Operations and exploration. Creating two separate mission directorates will ensure these critical areas have a focused oversight team in place to support and execute for the success that we look forward to. We're also leveraging the speed and innovation of the commercial sector as we move forward. And part of that is looking at how we contract with our industry partners. For example, we recently announced Exploration Production and Operation Contract, EPOC, the RFI. The goal is to position NASA to support long-term exploration of the moon and beyond. And to do this, we want to streamline the SLS production operations, and we're going to consolidate multiple SLS contracts into a single production operations contracts, and as well as consulting with industry on the feasibility of having a long-term service provider for the rocket. This is in addition to the production operations contract that is already in place for the Orion program. And we're taking a different approach to how we develop our Moon and Mars architecture. For example, the agency has an open request to industry soliciting proposals from industry to provide spacesuits and spacewalk services. Under the services model, industry will be accountable for the design, development, qualification, and production of spacesuits and their support equipment to meet the needs of the International Space Station and Artemis.
That's a mistake.
All that we build all that we study, all that we do, it will prepare us to return to the moon and then go beyond. And we're moving forward. And for scientific discovery, for economic benefits, and for inspiring a new generation of explorers, the Artemis generation. All these ambitious plans are contingent on funding, and I'm going to continue to fight for sustained funding. Now it's my privilege to turn it over to our deputy, former astronaut commander, Colonel Pam Melroy.
Thank you so much, Bill. Hey, I want to start out by just thanking the dedicated NASA workforce. They've been working day in and day out with a unity of purpose to explore and land the next humans on the moon. And it hasn't been easy. They've been logging overtime and doing double duty in the middle of a pandemic. We recognize that extraordinary effort, and we're fully committed to the Artemis program both as an agency and also on behalf of the Biden-Harris administration. So over the years, I've witnessed development challenges on nearly every program I've worked on, from NASA assembling the International Space Station while I was an astronaut to advanced projects at DARPA. And that's the nature of our business. We work on big projects, and we do things that have never been done before. I do believe that many of the first-time development challenges on SLS and Orion are nearly behind us. Like Bill said, we know we've got to reduce costs and streamline operations. And he mentioned the Epoch RFI, and that's incredibly important. Kathy and Jim can discuss those plans in greater detail. What I see taking shape are the technologies, systems, and infrastructures that we need to live and work on around the moon and undertake incredible science, and the capacity to learn from those objectives and build on that so we can have a blueprint for how to do it at Mars and even beyond. This is one of the great undertakings of humanity that we're working on, and the scope of it, from SLS and Orion to Gateway, human lander, ground systems, communications, spacesuits, and more, is truly staggering. First at the moon and then at Mars. But we're NASA, and we will rise to the challenge. We have an incredible workforce, incredible international and commercial partners, and we're already in the trenches working hard and working smart. There are going to be challenges along the way, but we want to be open and transparent about them and work on solving those problems together. And we're working strategically with our partners to make sure that we keep focused on the big goals. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Kathy Leaders.
Thank you, Pam. You know, it's been about a month and a half since Space Operations Mission Directorate, sprung from the agency's reorganization of HEO, and I will tell you, we haven't slowed down our mission. Our Crew 2 astronauts returned safely to Earth last night, and we are diligently right now working towards a Crew 3 launch tomorrow, and with our Delta launch readiness review tonight. And next month, we'll be sending another cargo delivery to the space station. So human spaceflight is busier than ever before. I think one of my favorite things to see at the Kennedy Space Center right now is still to see that magnificent Artemis 1 stacked vehicle in the vehicle assembly building. And it gives us a peek at the mission coming up in the first quarter of next year. And I've heard from so many people, like Pam talked about, industry partners, international partners who have been down over these last few weeks and have just been in awe of seeing that site. As Minister Nelson mentioned earlier, we are happy, I'm very happy with the judge's decision that upholds our source selection of SpaceX for the HLS Option A contract. Ultimately, this partnership will result in the development of the initial demonstration lunar lander, which will take our astronauts from lunar orbit to the surface of the moon during that first crewed lunar landing demonstration mission under Artemis. So though we've been on hold, the SpaceX folks have continued to make progress, and like was mentioned before, the HLS team right now has resumed discussions with SpaceX to fully understand their progress to date and make sure we can align milestones to safely return humans to the moon. We are so excited to put astronauts on the moon for the first time in more than 50 years and ultimately establish a long-term human presence at the moon for the first time ever. But this is just one part that the agency's broad efforts to engage with industry and enhance commercial readiness for our human landing system services. You know, Jim will be letting us know more later on how the agency continues to work with U.S. companies to further mature our human landing system concept to prepare for our recurring sustaining services under Artemis, as well as looking for new solutions related to our other capabilities that Pam mentioned. You know, we know that the development of new capabilities is challenging. And through it, we typically encounter challenges. But what is often overlooked is as we encounter challenges, we are creating learning, and that learning is not only helping us, it is learning that also benefits others across the space industry and even other industry. For example, one thing we had to learn how to do is to weld the massive SLS propellant tanks with state-of-the-art manufacturing processes. And one of our new companies coming up, Blue Origin, is also using that welding method. It's another place where we solve the problem and are sharing that solution.
It's
with
interesting.
our
It's almost
industry
like I
partners.
said that 8 months ago.
Yeah, we do understand that as we move from development to operations, we need to continue to optimize our cost performance and realign our operations capabilities while we retain our safety. So we are attacking that problem in two ways. One is with how NASA is organized. You know, the administrator talked about our recent organizational structure and restructuring. And it's helping us to have a space operations directorate that can focus on optimizing how we do sustaining and operations. And we are now working on that space ops directorate structure that will do that. We've been meeting with the center directors, both Jim and I, with the center directors at the key HEO centers at Kennedy, Johnson, Marshall, Stennis, to understand what has been working well, but yet where there are opportunities for us to improve with the new organization. And as we optimize our processes within the mission directorate, we will continue
Jim
supporting
Freeze,
our
she's talking
astronaut
about.
and cargo missions, space station activity, and the economic development of space, while also supporting initial planning for Artemis lunar operations. We will continue supporting these exploration plans to complement our ESD counterparts who are taking on the development for tomorrow's space exploration system, as SOMD will shift focus to the operations side of the spaceflight continuum. The second major effort we are doing is looking at how to move some of our key development contracts into more sustaining and operations constructs. The EPOC contract that was mentioned before is a way we are looking at restructuring delivery of the SLS rocket in a way that streamlines the development contracting approach and setting ourselves up for long-term Artemis missions. And it also creates a contract structure that will allow this rocket to become a national capability. This is a big change for us, and we know we need industry's help and involvement in this change. We have been having multiple industry discussions for over 6 months now, and like was mentioned, we recently released the EPOC RFI. The industry day kickoff for the RFI is tomorrow, and we are looking for feedback from the companies and asking for final input by the end of January. You know, this will be a critical stage for us as we're looking towards continuing to go through the procurement process and get ourselves ready for hopefully an award by the
That's
end
not
of
what's going on, Brett. I'll explain it in a second. It's not the worst news.
We
but
know
it's
we
not the
need to
best news
continue
either.
to streamline our Artemis crew transportation costs to provide additional funding for us to develop the additional capabilities that will bring us to the surface of the moon and beyond
Yeah,
tomorrow.
guys, this isn't
But
the
this will
worst.
take a partnership,
thing,
and we'll take a
but
team
it's-
from industry
I'm not
and
happy
NASA to
with it,
carefully
but-
transition this capability from development to operations, and we can't afford to impact interim missions along the way. Jim Free is a perfect partner for me to have within NASA as we work through this. Jim is leading the agency's development efforts, ensuring that we have the key capabilities to explore the moon and beyond. And I'll turn it over to Jim to talk more about the development work that is underway now. Jim Free, NASA's Associate Administrator for Exploration Systems Development, Mission Director.
Thanks, Kathy, and thanks for being a great partner. I've been on the job now about 45 days, and it definitely has been a busy month and a half. I've been able to see a lot of the hardware, the workforce, and even meet face-to-face with our international partners. So it's been a very exciting time to come on board. But for Artemis 1, as was mentioned, we completed the stacking of SLS and Orion, and Tom Whitmire and his team gave you an update a couple weeks ago on the testing that we have ahead of us before launch. We are targeting that February launch period, and certainly we'll keep everyone updated as we go through the testing that the team is doing every single day, as the administrator mentioned, and as we get closer to launch. We are targeting rollout for our wet dress rehearsal at the end of the calendar year. On Artemis 2, we're remaining focused on completing that vehicle while working Artemis 1, which is phenomenal. Work is underway assembling the crew module for Orion, and recently we received the second European service module for that mission as well. There's still a number of activities for Artemis 2 that will be first-time operations. It'll be the first time we're flying crew inside the vehicle. So we'll have the crew-specific systems that aren't there for Artemis 1, like environmental control and life support systems, and the displays, and all the software that goes to support those as backbones of the vehicle. As the administrator mentioned, we recently completed the rebaselining activity for Orion. Since the original agency commitments, we've added a great deal of scope to that development work, including the rendezvous proximity and docking capability, which is essential to be part of Artemis 3. We plan to complete that development before Artemis 2 and incorporate a demonstration of the proximity operations for Artemis 2 and then the full docking capability on Artemis 3. That additional scope leads to the rebaseline commitment for Orion of $9.3 billion. We'll continue to keep the teams working to an aggressive schedule so that we can launch Artemis 2 as soon as possible with this new capability. I want to make sure that we all remember that Artemis 1 and 2 are test flights that are part of the overall development work for SLS, Orion, and all of the complicated supporting ground systems that go with them. We'll continue the development work after those test flights for things such as the SLS Block 1B configuration for the exploration upper stage on Artemis 4. And then each mission beyond that continues to increase in complexity with new systems like the additional human landing system services, gateway, and surface elements. On Artemis 3, as has been mentioned, HLS has not been without challenges. We experienced the pause that the administrator talked about with SpaceX, and we are meeting with them currently to understand the impact of the delays on the entire development schedule. Since the court ruling last week, we have resumed that SpaceX work through a series of meetings that continue this week and in the coming weeks. And we're really eager to continue those discussions to determine the way forward to develop and demonstrate that human lander. After we understand the impacts and align our schedules with SpaceX, we'll have a much clearer picture on the new target date for putting those two astronauts on the moon. But as the administrator mentioned, we anticipate that now to be no earlier than 2025. The Option A contract is just part of our broader set of plans to partner with industry and develop the human landing system in the future. We partnered with 5 companies recently on our Appendix N effort to mature the concepts and develop risk reduction solutions. That work really bolsters the competition and increases commercial readiness for companies to provide that recurring service that we need from lunar orbit to the surface of the moon. And additionally helps us optimize our procurement strategy for competitive recurring services procurement. We're planning on issuing that draft request for proposals for services in early 2022, followed by a formal solicitation later that same year, open to all of U.S. industry. Another element of our exploration architecture is spacesuits. And landing humans on the moon is a complex feat that requires integration of multiple components, including modern spacesuits. Leaning on the speed and innovation of the commercial sector and work on advancement of critical suit components and systems developed by the NASA team, the next generation spacesuits will be worn by astronauts on the space station first and during Artemis surface missions to help us achieve our bold exploration goals. We plan to make one or more awards next year, and we'll ask providers for demonstration missions as early as 2024. We're gradually building up our capabilities and demonstrating the systems we need to live and work at the moon and prepare for Mars. That's one of the reasons why you'll see our cost and schedule commitments connected to specific development efforts rather than per mission. And it really doesn't make sense to just total up all our development costs and divide by the number of flights, which is what you'll see in some reports. That would suggest you are just getting a mission for that price, not a whole suite of capabilities for exploring deep space now and the decades ahead. Artemis is really different from how we've approached exploration in the past. We're taking this new approach so that we can make new discoveries. Not only are we looking forward in everything we do to prepare for human missions to Mars, but we're bringing partners from around the nation and partners from around the globe with us. With significant contributions from our international partners in Europe, Japan, and Canada, Gateway will demonstrate long-term operations in deep space before we embark on missions to Mars. That Gateway remains on its current schedule. The Lunar Orbiting Outpost will provide unprecedented access to the moon, as well as increasing opportunities for science investigations that are being planned today. One of the notable differences in our Artemis plans is how we're infusing science into our plans from the beginning. We have science and utilization being designed and developed today that will be on Gateway. That includes our international partners. There are lunar exploration activities across the agency, and Artemis is the unifying theme for those efforts and endeavors. Thank you. Jackie, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Jim. I'm sure everyone on the line has a lot of questions, so we'll move into the Q&A portion of the briefing. Lisa?
Thank you. We'll now begin the question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your touch-tone phone. Make sure your phone is unmuted and record your name clearly when prompted. To withdraw your question, you may press star 2. Again, to ask a question, please press star 1 and record your name. We'll take a moment for questions to come through. Please stand by.
Thank you, and if you could please be sure to state who you're addressing your question to.
Wednesday,
and stick to just one question at a time. That would be a huge help. First up, we have a question from Bill Harwood with CBS News.
I don't need to ask you questions,
Bill?
Have I understand what's going on.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know if this is for the administrator or for Kathy, but Senator Nelson used the word probable with regard to 2024 and Artemis 2 and a likely slip to 2025 for Artemis 3. Until you guys really know where you stand on the lander, I'm curious why we're talking about dates at all, because it doesn't sound like there's any specificity at this point beyond you can't land in 2024 like the Trump administration was suggesting. So I guess I'm wondering, why set even a vague target until you've had a better chance to talk to SpaceX to see where things stand on the lander? Thanks.
Bill, thank you for your question. We're responding to you all because you asked me months ago for specific timelines, and I told you until the court ruled, and as it ended up, it was two courts, an administrative procedure first, and then a federal court of claims second. And that took the better part of 7 months. And so with that court ruling, this was the very first opportunity to come to you. And what I said and what Kathy said and what Jim Free said was that we expect Artemis 1 in February, in just a few months. We expect Artemis 2 on or about May of 24. And for all the reasons then that I laid out, and I think I gave you about 4, we are estimating no earlier than 2025 for Artemis 3, which would be the human lander on the first demonstration landing that was won in the competition by SpaceX. And so we are giving you as much specificity, and I think quite a great deal of specificity, given the fact that we deal in an arena of cutting-edge technology and other things like COVID and litigation that get in the way. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Bill. Up next, we have Chris Davenport with the Washington Post.
Hi, thanks so much. I guess this is for the administrator or the deputy. You had said that this is going to require getting to the moon even in 25 will require sustained and significant funding starting in 2023. I'm wondering what sort of a dollar amount you're looking for to meet that goal, how big of an increase. And I'm sorry, I don't have my budget documents in front of me. When you say Orion is now rebaseline at $9.3 billion, that's up from what, if you could? Thank you.
All right, I'll turn it over to Pam after I try to answer your questions first. On the baseline, were you talking about Orion or were you talking about the rocket?
I'm talking about Orion.
Okay. Jim, you want to answer that?
Oh, the question was the new rebaseline number for Orion?
Yes.
And that is the previous agency baseline commitment was $6.7 billion.
Okay, and what's the other part of your question, Christian?
Yeah, you were saying you needed significant funding, likely starting in 2023. I'm wondering if what those budget requests will be, how much more money you need. I'm looking for, I guess, any sense of a dollar amount. You've been very good with the schedule. Now I guess I'm looking for the budget.
Yes, sir. I have not been shy about stating this, and I've stated it publicly several times. We need, for a full-up competition, which the Congress has made in no uncertain terms their not only preference, but their strong urging to have a competition for the eventual lander. That would be about one a year over a 10-year period, and that number is $5.7 billion over about 6 years.
Thank you. Next up, we have Joey Roulette with the New York Times.
Hey, thank you for doing this. Question, I guess, for either Pam or Jim or Kathy or whoever wants to answer. Has SpaceX proposed, or have you talked to SpaceX about doing a direct Starship mission to the lunar surface without maybe docking with Lockheed's Orion, just kind of as a potentially quicker route? And if they do ever mention that, is that an option that NASA would consider? Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think that would work from a architecture perspective to do that directly. You know, I since like the administrator, I've not been able to talk to SpaceX since I came on, but I don't think that works from an architecture or orbital mechanics perspective. Yeah, and the crew would be transported up on Starship. That's the primary thing, right? We're taking the crew up on Orion. So if there was again, the architecture-wise, it just wouldn't work.
Not looking for it right now.
You want to refine your question, Joey?
Well, yeah, I was just saying, since there are additional delays and cost overruns with the Orion program, I was just curious if NASA ever considered alternative routes to the moon, only using Starship or other architectures, and if you could elaborate on why it doesn't work from an architecture standpoint, that would be great. Thanks.
Well, let me just point out, right now there's only one rocket that's capable of doing this, and this is SLS and Orion on top. And that's stacked as we speak in the VAB, and it's going to launch next February. So we're going with what we got, and if anybody comes up with another alternative, we're glad to look at any other alternative.
Next up, we have Kristen Fisher with CNN.
Thank you, everyone, for the update. My question is for Administrator Nelson or Deputy Melroy, since you just returned from Dubai. And my question is, what is your level of concern that this slip in the schedule could perhaps allow China to land taikonauts on the moon before the U.S. can return American astronauts to the moon? Thank you.
In my comments earlier, I said that we are facing a very aggressive and good Chinese space program. This has happened in the last few years that we've seen them achieve quite a number of things. They put up a space station and within a short period of time put taikonauts on that space station. Think also they are the second nation to land a rover on Mars and are preparing to do a sample return mission from Mars. No other nation save the U.S., and albeit we did it landing back in the 70s and have landed several times, no other nation has done that. Statements that the Chinese space program, which includes the Chinese military,
it does, Kane. It slows down when you go up.
Have made give us indications that they are going to be very aggressive. We know, and they have stated, that they are going to the South Pole of the moon. We know that they say they're going to do scientific experiments there. We know that they've already had missions to the moon robotically. So we have every reason to believe that we have a competitor, a very aggressive competitor in the Chinese, going back to the moon with taikonauts. And it's the position of NASA and I believe the United States government that we want to be there first back on the moon after over a half century. But we got a lot of stuff to do on the moon, including building habitats, learning how we're going to exist for long periods of time in that environment in order to prepare us to take astronauts to Mars. It's one thing to go 240,000 miles and back. It's another to go millions and millions of miles. Get the planets in alignment, how long you have to stay on the surface, get the planets back in alignment so you can come back. That's why we're going back to the moon, to get ready to go to Mars.
Thank you. Next up, Michael Grushko with National Geographic.
Hi, thanks so much for taking my question. In previous, I think this might be for the administrator, but I'm open to others weighing in as well. In previously released schedules, even notional ones, there's been anywhere between a 14 to 17 month gap between Artemis 2 and 3. Now, beyond some of the uncertainties you've already touched on related to the human landing system, could you elaborate on some of the other factors, maybe it's ground systems, etc., that could further affect the timing between Artemis 2 and 3? Thanks.
Yes, sir. So this is Jim Free. There's a number of factors. So Artemis 2, as I mentioned, is the first time we're flying crew. So we're going to learn a lot about the ecosystem and how that performs. So there's a potential for some understanding and operational changes we may need to make after flying crew for the first time. I mentioned at Artemis 2 we're going to do a proximity operations demonstration, and then for 3 we're going to have to dock. So things we learned about how the system performs, how we actually do the operations with the crew, how the vehicle flies, may be some things we need to modify. And then things we learned just processing the vehicle. Things we've learned from 1, we're hoping to pass on to 2. When we process on 2 and we actually are taking crew out to the pad and putting them in the vehicle, we're going to learn a lot that we may have to add time between 2 and 3 to factor in. So it's part of it's the learning, part of it's we need time to turn the pad. Also, there's that duration between the 2 as well. So that's a few examples off the top of my head.
Thanks, Jim. Up next, we have Michael Sheets with CNBC.
Hi, all. Appreciate the update on the program. Administrator Nelson, I'm curious if I understand that the work hold only recently was released, but have you visited SpaceX's facility in Boca Chica, Texas, where they're developing Starship, or do you have any plans in the near future to stop by and see work on their side of the HLS Artemis program? Thanks.
Yes, we do. Pam and Bob and I are all going down there at the first opportunity, and it looks like that'll be after the first of the year. Remember, we got a lot of other exciting things going on between now and then. We've got a telescope going up on a French rocket that's going to go 1 million miles, and it's going to peer through a keyhole, and it's going to look back and capture light from over 13 billion years old, only 250 years after the Big Bang. That is a major mission. We've got the DART going up in December. It is going to an asteroid that revolves about another asteroid, and this asteroid is about 2,000 or 3,000 feet in diameter, so it's a big boy. You wouldn't want it to hit Earth. Well, we're going to see if we can move it in its trajectory, and we're going to ram it at 16,000 miles an hour. And those are just 2 of the exciting missions that are going on between now and Artemis 1.
Thank you. And next up, we have Irene Klotz with Aviation Week.
What are you talking about?
Thanks, Jackie. Good afternoon. I have 2 quick accounting questions and then a contracting question. On the accounting questions, maybe, Jim, if you have an updated SLS development cost through Artemis 2, and also is this $2.5 billion cost growth in Orion, are you saying that that's primarily due to adding the Prox Ops demo? And then the big picture question has to do with this Epoch RFI. If NASA anticipates there being or positioning SLS to be a commercial launcher, possibly competing with offerings by SpaceX, maybe Blue Origin, or is the idea behind moving to commercial service contracts some other idea in mind? Thanks.
Yeah, Yeah, Irene, this is Jim. So the number through Artemis 1 for SLS is the $11 billion. And I'm sorry, your second question was the Proxop demo?
The 2.5 billion cost growth in Orion, if that's primarily due to the Proxops demo.
Yeah, so remember, this goes back a number of years with Orion back to the 2012 time frame. So there were a lot of requirements changes between then. The Proxops demo is a major part of that. If you think about that system has to go on the hatch, and that has to be jettisoned during re-entry. So there's the complexity of the docking part, there's the complexity of all the sensors, and then there's the complexity of making sure you can get that out of the way to get the crew home. So that is a major element, but there's a number of requirements changes. There's the RPOD, and then we've also taken into account a lot of the COVID delays that Orion experienced, both in supply chain and just keeping the program going.
I was reading a NASA article that said 52,000.
And then the third question was around SLS as a commercial. That probably goes to Kathy with her epoch
That's the mistake there, which is fine.
So I think, Irene, the key thing is we're working to get our current multiple contracts into a single production operations contract, and looking at ways that through the contract we can figure out how to potentially
I'll tell you what's going
enable other people to be able to buy, that 42 metric tons to TLI, and have it be a shared investment and resource from a government perspective, because it is a unique launch capability. So that's our goal. We're obviously working through that on how to do that the best way, and pretty early in the process, but obviously having lots of discussions about it. Thank you.
All right, let me.
Thank you. Up next, we have Jeff Faust with Space News.
Good afternoon. A question about Artemis 2 schedule. You're now looking at as late as May of 2024, and I know previously the target was sometime in 2023. Is that delay simply the result of COVID supply chain impacts, or are there other issues driving the delay in that launch? Thanks.
Yeah, Jeff, this is Jim Free. So there's multiple factors in there. I mean, COVID's a big part of it, both in the workforce and also in the supply chain. We had some delays down at Michoud with after a number of the storms, with water getting in the facility and damaging some of the hardware, damaging some of the floor, damaging the tooling. Obviously, there were some problems in the roof as the water got in. So there's that delay. There's a portion of it is the avionics reuse, but that's only a portion of it. And then it's, the Artemis 2 is a complex vehicle. So as we've learned and started to integrate that Eclipse hardware, a little bit of delays with some of that installation and understanding. So when you add it all up, that's how it all is moved out.
Thanks, Jim. Brian Bender with Politico, please.
Hey there. Thanks for doing this. One quick question. I'm not sure who would be best positioned, but maybe you've covered this. I don't think I missed it. The new cost estimate for Orion, how much of an increase in that? In other words, what was the baseline prior to the $9.3 billion? That was my first question. And then the second was, as the administrator laid out, there's lots to do here, lots of buy-in from Congress that needs to happen. Have you briefed the president? Have you briefed the vice president as the chair of the National Space Council on all of this? And do you expect that we'll hear more from them about what's needed to be done to get this done and to beat the Chinese?
On your second question first, the answer is yes. I talked to the vice president as recent as last Friday when the two of us were out at Goddard. And so the answer is yes, and yes, also there'll be plenty of discussion the Vice President has called the first Space Council meeting for December the 1st. Jim?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to your first question, the previous was 6.7.
Thank you. And next up, we have Eric Berger with Ars Technica.
Yeah, hi. Thanks very much for doing this. I have two questions. The first is for Jim or Kathy on the contract to streamline SLS production that you've been talking about. The RFI says a private contractor should build it as a substantial cost savings, and it mentions a baseline per flight cost. Can you tell me what that cost is, the current baseline per flight cost? And the other question is for Senator Nelson. What is your sense of the purpose of Artemis? Is it, do you think, to determine, or excuse me, to build a long-term lunar settlement? Or is the purpose to go to the moon, learn what we need to go to Mars, and then get onto Mars? Thank you.
For your second question first, we're going back to the moon to learn what we need to do to extend human life for long durations and build habitats with the whole idea that we are going with humans late in the decade of the 2030s to Mars. There's a lot to learn. When you're 250,000 miles away, you better learn it, because then you're going millions and millions of miles away. And depending on the amount of propulsion that you have, how fast you could get to Mars, then will depend how long you have to stay on the surface of Mars in order for the planets to be in the alignment so that you could get back in the same amount of time that...
What are you talking about? He asked how much is it going to cost, bud.
So there's a lot to learn on the moon in order to go to Mars.
Oh, no, that was his third question.
We'd be really happy at some stage.
Yeah, no, okay, never mind, I'm wrong.
You know, our launch and processing costs to, you know, between $1 billion and $1.5 billion. But we've got a little ways to go. Now, that's total cost for both NASA folks that need to be doing work and obviously industry folks that need to be doing their part. There'll always be a partnership between the two of us, right? NASA will still need to do the mission assurance function because this is a crew transportation vehicle like we talked about, but we need our industry partners to be able to deliver that 42 metric tons of TOI in a safe and reliable manner. That would be our goal going forward. But we can always do better. You know, the more money we pull out of this, the more money Jim has to go build new hardware and get us to the surface of the moon with HABs and get TransHABs built and get power and infrastructure capabilities on the moon for us to further buy down risk and get us ready to go do our trips to Mars. And so that's our goal going forward.
Thanks, Kathy. Up next, we have Lauren Grush with The Verge.
Hi, thank you for taking my question. So throughout this, you've emphasized the litigation that held up communication between SpaceX and NASA. But from videos and pictures down there, SpaceX has certainly been working very hard on Starship in the meantime. So I'm wondering if you can be specific about how the lack of litigation would have hastened that development process. And if there hadn't been a lawsuit, did you have hope that you'd still meet the 2024 deadline, even with the significant lack of funding from Congress? Thanks.
Good question, Lauren.
Because of the litigation for 7 months, we have not been allowed to have, under law, any contact with SpaceX until the litigation was continued. SpaceX, on their own, has continued their development without any payments by NASA as to the contract that has now been signed pursuant to the court decision just last week.
Next up, we have Andrew Leinfelder with the Houston Chronicle.
Hi, this question is for the administrator. The uncrewed landing on the moon that you mentioned, is that new or is that part of the SpaceX human landing system proposal? And also, I apologize, can you refresh my memory onto when Artemis 2 had been planned to launch? Thank you.
The uncrewed lander was always a part of the solicitation put out by NASA. That was part of SpaceX presentation, and so you might want to check to see what time frame that would be. I suspect that you might want to, that might be a page one story when it lands prior to sending the first crew to the surface. What was the second part of your question?
When was the Artemis 2 launch previously scheduled for?
Yeah, April of 23.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time, and we only have time for one more question. So to close this out, Marina Corin with The Atlantic, please.
Hi, two questions for the administrator. Is NASA still aiming to land somewhere near the South Pole, or will you consider other locations? And I'd like to get an answer to Lauren's question. You seem to draw a direct line between the holdup that the litigation caused and the schedule pushed to 2025 for the landing. Would 2024 have been possible if the litigation wasn't an issue?
If you'll go back and look at what I said earlier, I listed several things. I listed the litigation, that was 7 months. I listed less dollars from previous Congresses, and the Trump administration judgment that was not a goal of 2024. 2024 was not a goal that was really technically feasible. So I listed several things.
And to the other part of your question, are we still targeting the South Pole? The answer is yes. I mean, we don't have specific landing sites. We have a number of them that we're working closely with the Science Mission Directorate to understand. You know, they just announced the Viper landing site not long ago. We're beginning to discuss with them specific areas, but the South Pole still is our focus.
Thank you all so much. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. I want to thank you for your participation. And an instant replay of today's call is available for 30 days by calling 888-566-0620. So thank you again for joining us, and I hope you'll stay on the online stream for the premiere of a new NASA video about our Artemis program. Have a great afternoon.
Yeah, I promptly won't be watching that.
That concludes today's conference. Thank you for participating. You may disconnect at this time.
Oh boy, what a great video. Yeah, fuck off. Hey, Evil Race. Hey, thanks for the host, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys, it's 4 o'clock, so space news is not going to be pretty today. Yeah, if you don't like when space news gets real, straight up, I wouldn't suggest watching. It's not going to be pretty. This is going to be hard to explain. It's going to be hard to explain, and yeah, it's going to be hard to explain. Let me, Vulcan, I don't need the notes, thank you. I can listen, unlike some people that ask questions in that press interview. It's not good news. It's mixed. It's a mixed bag, fellas. I'll be honest with you. It's not. I'm trying so hard to not get angry. I'm trying really hard to keep my cool, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna let it out. Please don't make excuses, this. I'm not making excuses, Savvy. In fact, you know what's pissing me off? That's what's pissing me off. Goddamn excuses. Stop making excuses. I don't want to hear excuses, man. COVID this, Trump that. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Blame the other guy. Yeah, that's fine. Great, good. Jim never did that. Jim could have done that. He should have done that, but he still never did. That pissed me. That's what pissed me off, guys. It's not that the new plan is that bad of a plan. I'll be honest with you. It's not that bad of a plan. It's a good idea. Seriously, what they're doing is reshuffling Artemis to make it more to make more rapid prototyping and develop the scope over a longer period of time. That's all you have to say. The blame this, blame that, it's COVID, it's the last guy's fault. It wasn't technically feasible. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Yeah, of course it's not technically feasible. You know why it's not technically feasible? Because you're the one that's supposed to make it technically feasible. You idiot. Oh, I gotta stop.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, thanks, man. I hate excuses. I hate them. I can't stand them. They drive me up the fucking wall. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Stop blaming other people. You're the one in charge. Stop blaming other people. It's disgusting. It's gross. Oh, God, does that make me angry. Oh. Okay. All right. He threw Jim under the bus, and that really pissed me off, man. That really pissed me off. That's so unnecessary. Totally not needed. Yeah, I know, Wally. I know. Like, dude, it's just... I hate, dude. You know what? Here's the thing, guys. It's not a bad plan. It's not a bad plan. Seriously. It's not a bad way to do things. The way they have this set up now and what they're trying to do, not a bad idea. Really. It's not. It's going to shift dates. Blaming other people for that, and blaming COVID for that really pissed me off, dude. That's why I'm mad. Not because it's not because it's a bad idea. Okay, 2024 is off the table. Artemis 2 in 2024. That's not that big of a shift. It's not that big of a deal. Artemis 3 in 2025. Not that big of a deal. I'm a little peeved that it's not a concrete deadline, but I understand why it's not. Just basically because SpaceX has to engineer that lander from the ground up, and they're starting now as opposed to 7 months ago. Right? 7 months of litigation, 7-month delay. Boom. There it is. I get it. I just can't stand... I can't stand blaming other people and other things when you're the one responsible. That pisses me off. I really can't. I really don't like it. You know, the fact that he threw Jim under the bus really just that. What do you say about Jim? He threw Jim under the bus. He said that 2024 wasn't technically feasible. You know, it wasn't going to happen with this, with that. Primo, he just made a bunch of excuses. It was gross. It was disgusting. Disgusting. And he said that, you know, the previous administration's goal of 2024 wasn't technically feasible. Blah, 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 blah. Just a bunch of excuses. Bunch of excuses, man. Jim never said anything like that. He never threw anybody under the bus. Ever. He never did that. In fact, he praised Charlie Bolden previously. And he praised the previous administration multiple times. That's why I like him. He's a class act.